At exactly 12:03 a.m., every dog in the town began screaming at once. Pastor Elijah Moore woke up gasping, his old heart pounding as if something had called his name from the dark. He had served this church in rural Iowa for 40 years, yet that night the Bible on his bedside table felt heavier than stone. When he opened it, a single page slipped out, yellowed, brittle, and handwritten. It was dated 6 months in the future. The words were clear. The first seal opens where faith has grown cold. Outside, the wind stopped moving. No insects, no cars, just silence so loud it hurt. Elijah drove to the church, his headlights flickering, and found the doors already open. On the altar floor, a symbol burned into the wood, still smoking, glowing faint red. As he stared, the church bell rang once by itself. Across town, 3 houses went dark forever. By morning, police would find nothing inside them. No bodies, no blood, only ash shaped like kneeling people. Elijah understood then. This was not a warning meant to scare. It was a revelation meant to expose. And America had just been named. The voice came through the static during a routine emergency test. Radios, police scanners, baby monitors, every device crackled alive at the same time. "Do not adjust your signal," the voice said calmly. This frequency was opened for judgment. In Washington, analyst Rebecca Lane froze as her screen filled with waveforms that didn't belong to any known system. The voice began reading from Revelation, but the verses were twisted, personalized. Cities were named. Dates were precise. 12 hours later, a massive bridge collapse matched the broadcast word for word. People who kept listening reported the same nightmare. America burning while a shadow stood over it, counting. Hospitals filled with patients suffering nosebleeds, seizures, and panic attacks. Rebecca tried cutting the signal, but it jumped frequencies like it was alive. When she paused the audio, a whisper remained, repeating her name. She finally noticed something worse. The voice was updating itself, reacting to human fear. It wasn't predicting events anymore. It was responding. As another broadcast began, the final line chilled her blood. "You asked for signs. Now listen." The markings appeared after sunset, faint at first, then bright enough to stain the streets red. Entire neighborhoods woke to glowing symbols on doors, garages, even children's bedroom windows. No paint, no residue, just light hovering on wood and stone. Those inside the marked houses slept peacefully while chaos erupted outside. Unmarked homes reported footsteps in hallways, breathing behind walls, shadows passing under doors. Security cameras showed nothing until playback revealed figures standing inches from the lens, their faces blurred like burned film. By morning, everyone noticed the pattern. Marked houses belonged to people who had turned away, not in hatred, but in indifference. Churches half empty, faith replaced with comfort. When a violent storm tore through the Midwest that night, only the marked houses remained untouched. Survivors began begging for the symbols to appear on their doors. They prayed louder than ever before. Nothing happened. That night, the radio voice returned with a single sentence. "You cannot choose the seal after it is seen." The glow faded by dawn. Those homes would never be marked again. Every screen turned white at once. Phones, billboards, televisions, even digital watches. Then he appeared, smiling, calm, familiar. He spoke without shouting, without threats. "Peace is possible," he said. "Fear is the real enemy." Crime stopped overnight. Riots dissolved. Hospitals reported miraculous recoveries. America celebrated, relieved to finally breathe again. But something was missing. Parents noticed their children stopped laughing. Couples felt nothing holding hands. Funeral homes reported families with dry eyes and steady voices. Doctors found patients alive with no detectable pulse. When the old Bible page was read again, the words seemed clearer now. "The false light will quiet the storm by turning off the heart." Pastor Elijah tried to warn people, but no one listened. Why would they? Life had never been so orderly, so calm, so empty. That night, the figure returned to the screens and smiled wider. "This is only the beginning," he said. Across the nation, people stared blankly, feeling nothing at all, as something ancient smiled back through the glass. The ocean changed color first. Deep red waves rolled onto both coasts, thick and warm, carrying a metallic smell that made sailors vomit. Then came the sound, low, endless horns echoing from beneath the water. Navy sonar detected massive shapes moving in perfect formation, far too large to be vessels. Fishermen who returned alive spoke of winged figures rising from the sea, their feathers blackened as if burned. Entire harbors were abandoned overnight. The radio voice announced, "The trumpets sound where pride met the shore." Sea life washed up dead by the millions. Skies dimmed as if the sun were tired. When a coastal city lost power, residents reported figures standing in the surf, watching silently. They did not attack. They waited. Rebecca realized the pattern too late. Every event targeted what America trusted most: technology, security, control. The horns sounded again at midnight, louder this time, rattling windows hundreds of miles inland. Children covered their ears and screamed. Adults felt something worse: the certainty that whatever was coming could not be stopped. The city fell in 60 minutes. No warning sirens. No evacuation orders. Just sudden fire, violence, and confusion spreading block by block like a living thing. Drones captured the moment the sky cracked open, a vast eye-shaped tear glowing behind the clouds. The radio voice whispered, almost gently, "Babylon falls in 1 hour." Buildings collapsed without explosions. Streets buckled as if something beneath them shifted. People turned on each other, driven by panic they could not explain. Then, just as quickly, it stopped. Smoke hung frozen in the air. Survivors wandered silently through ruins, unable to remember how it began. News channels went dark. The figure on the screens never appeared again. Rebecca found one final transmission saved on her system. This collapse was not punishment. It was exposure. The message ended with coordinates forming an ancient symbol across the fault lines of the nation. America was being measured, not destroyed. Yet, only a few were left untouched. They felt fear, pain, and grief, proof they were still fully alive. Elijah, Rebecca, and others gathered, realizing the page wasn't a prophecy but a filter. It revealed who would still feel when everything else went numb. The ground trembled, splitting along invisible lines that formed symbols older than any flag. Satellites failed. Compasses spun uselessly. The survivors understood the truth. The nation wasn't chosen for destruction, but for demonstration. A warning to the world. The radio voice spoke one last time, no longer cold, but weary. "You were shown mercy through time. Time has ended." As the sky darkened permanently, the survivors held on to something rare now: hope mixed with terror. They waited, knowing the final verse was near. Silence arrived first. No wind, no birds, no engines. Just a stillness so complete it felt like the world was holding its breath. The final broadcast played everywhere, even without power. This was not the end of the world, the voice said. Only the end of mercy. The sky dimmed to a deep, endless gray. Stars vanished. The survivors watched as the last seal opened, not with fire, but absence. No angels descended. No demons rose. Humanity was left alone with what it had become. People across America fell to their knees, some praying, some screaming, some feeling nothing at all. Elijah closed his Bible, understanding too late that revelations were never meant to predict the future, only to reveal the heart. And America's heart had already answered.